You're 3 minutes into a conversation and you can feel it dying. She asks what you do, you tell her. She says, "Oh, cool." And then there's a pause where you can actually hear the ice moving in somebody's glass. Your brain starts sprinting. Ask about the weather. No, ask about her weekend. You already did that. Say something funny, say anything, say a word, any word. You've got about 4 seconds before this becomes a hostage situation. Most people think conversations die because you ran out of things to say. Wrong. They die of something much dumber. They die of tidiness. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to do in that pause. 5 moves in order that turn a stalling conversation into one that keeps going without you dragging it. Also, there's one instinct almost everybody reaches for the second things stall. It's polite, it feels helpful, and it kills the conversation faster than the silence does. That one's coming last. Here's what's actually happening. Somebody asks you a question and you answer it well, cleanly, completely. You hand them the finished version, wrapped, no loose ends. What do you do? "I'm a nurse." "Where are you from?" "Ohio." "Have you seen it?" "Yeah, it was good." A perfect answer's dead conversation. Think of every sentence you say as either a door or a wall. A complete answer is a wall. A polite, freshly painted wall, and now the other person is standing in front of it holding a drink, running a hand along it looking for a handle. That's what people mean when they call somebody hard to talk to. They don't mean boring, they mean there was nothing to grab. So rule 1, stop answering, start donating. Donate 3 words nobody asked for. Not a speech, 3 words. "I'm a nurse, night shift, which has destroyed my relationship with sunlight. I'm from Ohio," the boring part, which is most of it. "Yeah, I saw it, and I cried at a scene I'm not going to tell you about." None of that is clever, that's the point. Each one is a handle. Sunlight, the boring part, the scene you won't admit to. The other person suddenly has 3 places to go and they'll take one. They always take one. I used to prepare for parties. Showed up with stories loaded like I was walking into a job interview with snacks. Still stalled out constantly because a story that ends perfectly is still a wall. Just an impressive one. It clicked at my cousin's wedding, stranded by the leftovers next to a guy I had nothing in common with. I mentioned, for no reason, that I'd driven 6 hours with a broken air conditioner. He lit up. Turns out he restores old cars. We talked for an hour about a subject I don't care about, and it was one of the best conversations I had that year. Doors, not walls. But donating only works if the other person picks up the handle you left them. And that's where most people quietly fail without ever noticing they did it. Because you are interested, you just don't show it anywhere on the outside. Somebody tells you they lived in Alaska for 2 years, and inside your head you're going, "Whoa, Alaska." And on the outside your face does approximately nothing and your mouth says nice. Rule 2, be interested out loud and be slightly embarrassing about it. The move is the follow-up, not a new question, a follow-up. Same topic, 1 layer down, wait, back up. 2 years, what does that do to a person? Or just, okay, that's a weird detail, tell me about that. Say those out loud and they feel aggressive. They're not. Karen Huang and her team at Harvard ran a study on exactly this, and people who asked follow-up questions came out significantly more likable than people who talked about themselves or asked something and moved on. Not more interesting, more likable. Same person, same conversation, 1 layer down. Listen to that again because it's strange news. You get liked for being curious, not for being impressive. Nobody has ever left a party thinking, "Wow, that guy had a great answer about his job." I've got a friend who does this to a degree that should be illegal. She'll hear something ordinary, "You're moving next month," and go, "Wait, moving how? Truck moving or 4 trips in a sedan crying moving?" Now you're telling her everything. She isn't charming. She just pays attention where you can see it. And once you're a layer down, something happens that almost everybody handles badly. The conversation goes quiet. There it is, the gap. 4 seconds of nobody saying anything, and your whole nervous system files it as an emergency. Here's the part nobody talks about. That silence isn't proof the conversation failed, it's proof it got somewhere. Namkje Koudenburg studied what happens when the flow of a conversation breaks and found a pause of about 4 seconds is enough to leave people feeling less connected, less accepted. 4 seconds, that's how twitchy we are. So the panic is real and measurable and also useless to you. Rule 3. Let it sit. Do not fill it with a new topic. Filling a pause with a fresh question is the conversational equivalent of hearing someone cry and handing them a pamphlet. Stay in the room instead. Look at them. Take a breath like you're thinking because you are. Say, I've never thought about that. Then watch. Half the time they start talking again because a pause is an invitation and you just handed it back. The other half, you get 4 quiet seconds with another human being, which adults are allowed to have. I once panicked in a pause and asked a man I'd known for 11 minutes whether he had strong opinions about bread. He did not. And the fastest way out of a pause isn't a question at all. It's this next one. Rule 4 is the callback. Somewhere in the last 10 minutes they told you something. A brother, a trip, a bad boss, a dog with an idiotic name, go get it. Wait, is this the same brother who wrecked the boat? Hold on, is this before or after the Portland thing? That's the entire move. It works way out of proportion to how hard it is because a callback proves something you can't prove by claiming it. It proves you were there. Everybody says they're a good listener. A callback is a receipt. It also changes the shape of the thing. The conversation stops being a pile of unrelated questions and starts having a memory. That's what people mean when they say a conversation felt easy, not that you were funny, that it felt like it was building. Try it tonight and watch somebody's face change. People are so used to being politely forgotten that being remembered for 11 minutes lands as warmth. So donate, follow up, let it sit, call back. 4 moves and every one of them is doable while tired. Which brings me to the thing I promised at the start. The instinct that kills a dying conversation faster than the silence ever could. When a conversation stalls, almost everybody reaches for the same tool. Another question. So what do you do for fun, any brothers or sisters? Been busy lately? It feels generous. You're taking responsibility, keeping things moving. What you're actually doing is turning a conversation into a customs interview. Question, answer, and the other person feels the pattern even if they can't name it. Nobody relaxes under questioning. Nobody has ever been asked a 4th question in a row and thought, finally, closeness. Rule 5, and it fixes more than the other 4 combined. When it stalls, don't ask, tell. Say one small true thing about yourself that nobody requested. I hate these things and I come to them anyway. I have a completely unreasonable opinion about airports. Arthur Aron's research on how strangers get close ran on this exact mechanism. Not questions, escalating reciprocal disclosure. Both people taking turns, each going a little further than is comfortable. Questions on their own don't do it. Somebody has to go first. That's the job, not being interesting, going first. A stalling conversation isn't asking you for a better question. It's asking whether you're going to be a person in here or keep being a very polite front desk. Look at what all 5 have in common. Not one of them is about being clever. Donate a handle, ask one layer down. Let the quiet stay quiet, call back to something they said, go first with something true. Everyone is the same move wearing a different coat. Leave more doors open than you close. That's the count. The people you think of as good at this don't have better material, they just run a higher door count until it stops being on purpose and turns into how they talk. And once you're keeping that count, a conversation stops feeling like an exam you're failing in real time and starts feeling like a hallway. Lots of doors, no rush. So next time you feel one dying, the pause, the ice in the glass, that little spike of panic, don't reach for a better question. Open a door and see whether they walk through it. Some of them won't, that's fine. I have opened doors into rooms with absolutely nothing in them and lived. Which one gets you? The tidy answer, the silent interest, the panic and the pause, or the interrogation? Tell me down below. And tell me which one your friends do, because that's more fun. Subscribe if you want the next one.